is, what day is it? Monday?
It's Monday.
I was about to say Monday. Yeah, I thought, like, we record so many different days. Today's Monday, so of course we're talking about The Mandalorian, episode 2, titled Mines of Mandalore. All right, that's what we're talking about today. Arguably better than the first episode.
Definitely better than the first episode.
I would think that they probably should have released episode 1 and 2 together as one episode, and then like have it so like a little mini movie. But it was fun, and I think there's a couple things that made this episode really good.
They've released multiple episodes at once before, so yeah, they could have done that 1 and 2.
It would have been a little more satisfying. There's a lot more action in here. The action is really cool. Typical Star Wars adventuring, which is neat. Some logical information given. There's a couple things about this episode that I liked that I want to bring up, and there's probably two things really. Let's start with the first one. The episode was written in such a way that if you don't know anything about Star Wars, which neither one of us do, we understand some more of the universe. So you don't have to be a complete Star Wars nerd to get a lot of this, and I really like that. I did do a quick Google search of what happened, the purge of what happened to the Mandalorians, and so I know a little bit more about that, but I'm not going to read a whole book about it or anything. But for the most part, I understand what happened to Mandalore. I understand how it all fits together, but you could have watched this episode by itself and not have known any of that, and I thought that was really good. Another thing that I liked, and I think this is why the episode was so good, was, of course, Katie Sackhoff, Starbuck. I'm just going to call her Starbuck. I'm a big Battlestar Galactica fan. And man, she nails it. She's just she knows how to do her thing. Like, if you...
Do you think she was there this time around?
Yes, absolutely. She was there this time around.
She was there last time. She was there last time too.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I just don't understand. She's like sitting in a castle just staring off into space all day. I mean, I just don't understand that. Yeah. But when her action scenes were fantastic, her acting was great. I really felt emotion from her. I felt connection to her.
Yeah, she was good.
Starbuck is amazing. Like, Katie Sackhoff is just amazing. And one thing that's interesting to me is she's never had a role that like highlights her skill level. Like sometimes I look at actors and I think, man, I wish they had a better role to kind of highlight how good they are. And this could be potentially. I think she could probably carry a show. And I'm sure that the Disney people are looking at that because she did such a great job in this episode.
Hey.
And then, of course, everyone's
You don't think she had enough to do in Battlestar Galactica?
She's great in Battlestar Galactica, but that show's done. It's not
not
happening anymore.
Okay, so, all right.
And even that, like, she had to share that with a bunch of other great actors too. So
here it's a much smaller cast that she gets to shine a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah, like a starring role, like one that's like hers, like based around a show based around her, would be really cool. And then, of course, everyone's favorite character, Amy Sedaris, which is just great. David Sedaris' sister, I think. I'm not really sure 100%.
That's Amy Sedaris. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like her in this?
She's great. Yeah, she's fun. Every time she shows up, it's hilarious. Why don't you like her?
I don't know. It's just something about like the way they chose to style her for this. It just doesn't seem like that hairstyle. I've never seen anybody with a hairstyle like that in the Star Wars universe.
Is it a missing tooth?
What?
She's missing a tooth in this episode.
Yeah.
Does that bother you?
A little bit.
So you have some prejudice against people with dental afflictions?
No, I don't know. It doesn't. She doesn't seem like she's walking around in the Star Wars universe.
I think she's walking around in the Star Wars universe more than anyone else.
You think so?
Dude, she was speaking Jawan. You never seen a human speak Jawan before. That's
awesome. True. That's true.
And like, please note that I do know what those characters are, and I said it correctly. So I have watched some Star Wars.
Jawa.
The Jawas are those little bead things,
right?
And the whole scam was funny. You know, like they Jawans.
Yeah, I kind of like the scam.
Like, that whole thing was hilarious. I'm kind of tired of Tatooine. I know people probably don't care what I think, but Tatooine's been overused.
Is that Tatooine?
Yeah, Tatooine.
Oh yeah, that is Tatooine.
Yeah,
okay.
It's definitely. Yeah. I'm sick of that place, and like I don't know why we have so much dirt everywhere you go. Is dirt in Star Wars. Dirt. I know why, because it's cheap to film there. So that's why it's so cheap. Because it was cheap. That's why George Lucas picked in the first place. Nobody wanted to. It's easy to do it. It's cheap.
It looks alien.
No, it's fun. I would rather them film it in a desert without green screens than what they do now. But even today, in this episode I watched today, even the green screens and the special effects, they look, of course, fantastic.
Yeah, look good.
Disney definitely is spending more money on this than they definitely did on some of the Marvel episodes. That's 100% sure. You can see the difference. It looks really clean. Everything looks smart. It looks really good. I would love to be at a budget meeting and find out why that is. But let me give you a plot synopsis and we can talk more about it. So, a long time ago, the Mandalorian, the guy we follow around, took his helmet off. He's not supposed to do that because of the faction he's in. And so he's like, oh man. And then they're like, hey, if you want to get in our good graces, you gotta bathe in the waters of the Mines of Mandalore. Like I bathe in it. He's like, okay, whatever.
Right.
So he was going to have a murder robot help him figure out, but he can't get the parts. So he goes to Tatooine, and Amy Sedaris gives him a.
You know what? I liked that. I liked that was a dead end. That you can't get the parts for IG-11.
It's an interesting thing to do.
I hope that's the end of it. I don't want to see him in the last few episodes of the series.
It's definitely not the end of it. It's going to come back up. Anyway, so then like Amy Sedaris gives him an R2 droid, and like the R2 droid's apparently kind of skittish, and they get on this cool spaceship, and zoom, they go to Mandalore, and he teaches Grogu how to fly and stuff, and talk about Grogu teaches him how to like look at maps, and then he lands on the planet. And then the R2 unit is missing, so he has to go chase it, find it, and he has to fight a bunch of weird things. A cool fight. Bam, bam, slash, slash. And then, like, he realizes he can breathe on the planet. He's like, okay, great. And then, like, him and Grogu fly down deeper into the planet. And then he gets captured by this weird, crazy thing that I thought looked amazing. That thing looked really cool. Good.
Yeah.
Like the special effects looked really good. Again. And apparently this thing captures Mandalorians and like sucks their blood, which is pretty neat. And Grogu, has to save him. So he goes to the spaceship and he beats up one of those alien things, which I think was really cool. And he flies the ship, or not really. The R2 unit flies the ship.
He points to where they need to go, and then the R5 unit, unit flies them. Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, Grogu is like an equivalent of a 5-year-old at this point, but he manages to get there, which is pretty amazing. And he gets Starbuck.
Well,
Starbuck
the Mandalorian has just shown him that he was like, here's the moon that Bo-Katan lives on. So
yeah, I mean, you knew,
and it was right there.
Back up, but I thought it was good. It was well done. And then Starbuck, she gets on Battlestar Galactica and flies to Mandalore, and then she fights these things again. Bam, bam, fights them. And it saves.
And she is very good. She's very good at wielding the darksaber.
Yeah, like really good. She might as well just give it to her.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just give it to her.
This is yours.
Like, hey, I don't know how to use this thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but here, like, it's the darksaber is a different kind of lightsaber. It's fine. Here, everybody has one. Like, if I was in Star Wars universe and I was like of adult age, I'd be like, yo, I want either a lightsaber or a darksaber. Everybody's got one. It shouldn't be a secret. I just want to go to the store and get one. It's silly. Like, thank you. Like, I would make one or something. It's like,
you've got to make one. That's how you get them. You have to make your own.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then,
but there's only one darksaber. It's like special.
What's special about it?
I don't know, but apparently it's heavier than lightsabers. I don't know.
I mean,
it's the only Mandalorian lightsaber.
It's fine. It's okay. It feels like something that some kid wrote on the back of his 6th grade notebook. This is a darksaber. It's different than the lightsabers.
I will say, when I first saw it in The Mandalorian, I knew nothing about the darksaber. I think it was like,
I didn't either.
It was in the books or something.
It was it was in the cartoons. It was in the
okay. Yeah.
So most of the stuff about this Mandalorian stuff is in the cartoons, and then the
right.
Clone Wars stuff, which I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
It's just too much. It's a lot. That's hundreds of hours of television. I like cartoons. It's fine. It's not even cartoons. Animated. I'm being disrespectful It's an animated series, but good lord, I'm not going to spend all day watching that, even though it's supposed to be really good. But again, I feel like somebody's definitely listening to us, being like, these guys have no idea what's this fun. And then they team up and they go down to the Mines of Mandalore, and he bathes.
I feel like we watch enough Star Wars, you know.
I feel like I don't. I feel like I watch enough TV.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then he's bathing, but then he slips and he falls down into the water, and then Starbuck has to get him, and she jumps. It
seems like he gets dragged down. Seems like he gets, or
I think he slips.
No, he just falls off the. Well, it's a cliff. There's like a cliff,
like,
right?
Right. She has to go get him, but then she sees like this big like beast, which is supposed to be. Because here's the deal: this Kay Sarkov's character, what's her name, Bo-Katan? Bo-Katan didn't have faith. She doesn't have faith, or didn't have faith in the Mandalorian lore and the Mandalorian stories, and she kind of looks at Din. What's his name? Din Djarin.
Din Djarin.
She kind of looks at Din Djarin like he's an idiot. But Din Djarin is sort of like, if you look at like a religion, Din Djarin is like very religious, and like has lost her faith. But there was a piece of when they went to the mines, she actually read this thing that said there was a beast in the mines that was tamed, and she kind of laughed about it. But then she saw the beast in the water when she saved him, so she realizes it was true. But let's be clear here.
Mythosaur.
Yeah, but let's be clear here. In Star Wars, if someone says there's a beast in the water, there probably is, because there's always a beast in the water. This show
but if the name of it is Mythosaur, I give somebody, points for believing that it's just a myth.
But it's Star Wars. If someone says, yo, there's a myth that there's a huge ocean creep beast in there, I would be like, that's not a myth. This is Star Wars. There's definitely a huge monster in there. There's always a big monster in every episode of everything we do. There's a big monster. It's always a big creature.
That's true.
That's Star Wars as aesthetic. That's the universe. Star Wars does three things: spaceships, some kind of laser sword type deal, and big monsters. Okay, that's just it. And that's
right.
And you know what? That might be why the latest versions of the movies didn't do well, because they didn't have a lot of big monsters.
No big monsters, yeah.
They had a couple episodes. I think they had a couple, but it wasn't like a monster big enough to swallow a spaceship. And that was the end of that episode. Your thoughts, Mike, of the second episode of this season?
Definitely better than the first episode. It got a little bit back to the mission of the week formula that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, this is part of a longer ranging story, but this fits with that. It neatly fits within this episode.
Mm.
It's like one mission, part of a longer mission. I like that. That's I miss that with TV. Everything's got to be a long arching story these days. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about the season 1 of The Mandalorian, is that it was, mission of the week, basically. I like that.
Yeah, and like what I thought was interesting was like the first episode gave like a quest. Like you have to go to Mandalore and bathe if you want to be forgiven for your transgressions. And I thought, and then the episode, was this the third or second episode?
This is the second.
Yeah, and then in the same episode, he had a side quest where he has to go get parts of his robot. So I thought, okay, this obviously will be a stretch where he's trying to find how to get to this planet, figure out how to get into the mines, figure out how to get the robot. But that's the whole thing that one set up is finished in 2, and like it's a really interesting decision to kind of have that arc. So I mean, I'm curious to see. Like, we have no idea what the rest of the season is going to do. We have we don't know. So it's
what do they do now? Are they going to hang out on Mandalore for a little bit, see what's up with this Mythosaur, or
my guess is that
is the Mandalorian is he going straight back to the armorer lady?
My guess is that what they're going to do is the whole season is going to be about rebuilding the Mandalorian war, like Mandalorians, like they're going to become more of a people again. And I'm
uniting the Mandalorians,
uniting the clans, making them one people. I'm curious to see how it's going to work and what kind of pitfalls they have. And the episode, the so far the season is avoiding a lot of the pitfalls. Like we don't have a super villain of the week right now. We don't have this like this little shell of an empire kind of characters floating around like that right now. A lot of the Jedi stuff is kind of there, but it's more about Mandalorian. And so like I'm curious to see how they're going to move forward with the next episode 3 and then 4. And how many episodes is it going to be?
Good question. Looks like it's going to be 8.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So for 8 episodes, I got 6 more. I'm curious to see like what the pitfalls and problems are going to be. Do you know about the Purge? Did you read anything about this?
No. All I know really is what I've seen in The Mandalorian.
So apparently the Purge what happened. The Mandalorians after after Order 60. What was it? 66.
I think it was 66. Order 66.
After Order 66, where we all know where the clones attacked. The Jedi.
Right.
Killed most of them off. Now,
including the younglings.
Killing Anakin killed babies and Vigilances was terrible. Apparently the Mandalore world refused to be ruled, and the Sith Lord, Palpatine just ordered it to be like destroyed. So like not only did he kill a bunch of Mandalorians, but he also bombed it with fusion bombs, and that's why the world's all like that. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's all glassy.
Yeah. And it reminded me of, did you play Halo 3?
No.
No, and Halo 3.
I was going to say, it actually reminds me of Destiny. Maybe like the raids or something where you're going underground and you're going through all of these different tunnels and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the aesthetics are definitely a lot like Destiny's as far as like going underground and stuff like that. Yeah,
and there's like tunnels on the sides, and there's these monsters that are gonna pop out of the tunnels.
Yeah, it's somewhat video game-ish. Yeah, I can feel that. But I mean, it's not. They can't really change the right now at this point. Unless you do something dramatic, you're not going to be changing what you're doing with these shows. Like the video game ideas as far as like tempo and what you expect. It's like these stories aren't going to change any of that stuff. But what I thought was
that's not a just cut on the show that it resembles Destiny. It reminded me a lot.
Yeah,
because when you go to a planet and you're like going, if you're going to the mines, yeah, obviously you're going underground, but even before they got to the mines, like the main part of Mandalore seemed like it was underground, which is weird to me.
I got confused by that. I didn't know if the fusion bombs sealed it underground or if it was always underground.
Right.
I didn't understand that. But to wrap it up with my Halo reference, in Halo, a certain race would glass a planet because of the flood, and I thought it was like that same mistake kind of applies, which is interesting. But yeah, so far so good as far as the episode's concerned. I have some lingering questions about some things. Mostly my biggest question is, I'm not really sure my biggest question. I think I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what the overall goal of this show is in the Star Wars universe. And maybe I need to watch more.
Does it need one?
Yeah, I think so. I think because you need to be moving it forward. You don't want to stand still. Everything new that comes out needs to be moving the ideas forward. It needs to be participating in the conversation. Like, what's the point? It's like when someone's telling you a story but has no point. They will just, hey, I went to the store and bought some Cheetos. That's my story. Like, nobody cares. Like, why'd you waste my time? Make me listen to that.
Could be a very interesting and entertaining Cheetos story.
No, but it wasn't. It was the most boring Cheetos story ever. And like that's something to worry about. Like this season of Mandalorian has to move it forward somehow. I'm curious how it's going to do that. And I'm willing to watch it. what I want to happen is I want to become invested in the Star Wars universe, and I just am not. Like, I should be very interested in Boba Fett. I should have already watched Andor by now. I should have watched like Obi-Wan. There's multiple shows I have not watched, and I'm the prime target. I love space. I love spaceships. I'm just not really interested in it. Hopefully watching the Mandalorian will help me understand why I'm not interested in Star Wars stuff, as opposed to when Star Trek, Strange New World comes out, when a new season comes out, I'm watching that immediately, like move out the way. I gotta get to my TV. But I just don't get that with Star Wars. I don't know why. And I wish I did.
You definitely need to watch Andor.
How long is it?
It's longer than 8 episodes, I think.
What? Can you give me the exact number?
I can't. I don't remember the exact number. I mean, your phone can. But it's just like I want to stress. Like last time we talked about this, everybody agrees that Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie of all time. Andor is a better Star Wars thing than Empire Strikes Back.
24 episodes? I'm not watching this.
No, it's the best Star Wars of all time.
There's 2 seasons?
No. So half of it, we're halfway through it right now.
So
season one is fantastic.
Is this guy dead?
I don't remember what happens to him in Rogue One, but I think everybody dies in Rogue One.
Yeah,
so
he's blown up.
I'm gonna say he's dead. Yeah. Like, but this is what leads him to join the rebellion.
12 episodes. That's a lot of time. I'm not trying to.
But it's the best. It's the best Star Wars thing ever created.
People say that every time a good Star Wars thing comes out.
No, they don't. It's always, wow, this is the worst Star Wars thing ever.
I can't. I just can't. I'm not even gonna make that commitment.
It's better than Empire Strikes Back.
I'm not making that commitment.
Legitimately, it's better than Empire Strikes Back.
Like, I got a question for my listeners. I want you to answer this too. When do you guys watch TV? When do you find the time? I don't have it.
When you're playing Destiny Strikes.
People just don't play video games?
I mean,
I guess not.
You balance it.
I'm not interested in that. And maybe I'll you know what? I'll try to. I'm going to look at my schedule because I have a pre-open schedule right now because I'm on spring break. I'll see if I have a few hours here or there where I can watch Andor. I will give you this. I will watch Andor when I have a food break because I can't play video games to eat food. So maybe I'll stop.
There you go.
Watch Andor.
There you go. Yeah.
But it's that I have a lot on the plate right now. I'm just super busy right now with all kinds of different.
But
things.
it is the best Star Wars thing ever made.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see.
Lots of people agree with me on that one.
But it still does
not everybody. Not everybody, but lots of people agree with me on that one.
But it still doesn't help answer my question: is why am I not really interested in it? Like, what happened to make me not care about Star Wars as much as I should? Because I used to.
Oh, but for me, it was the prequels and the sequels.
Yeah, maybe it was that for me.
Yeah.
The sequels, I don't know. The sequels were fun.
It was more the prequels to me, and then for the sequels, the third is by far the worst of the 3.
It's like, I think what my problem is I hate
because the first 20 minutes of the first sequel, the where we're meeting Rey, I loved that. I'll watch that on loop. I'll watch the first 20 minutes of that movie on loop. It's fantastic. She's exploring like the crashed, Imperial ships and stuff like that, and then getting into the Millennium Falcon.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I kind of feel like, for me, the reason why I don't like Star Wars as much as I should is I'm not 100%, like I said this last time, I'm not 100% trying to figure out what are they trying to say about the world that I don't know, that I don't understand, I don't know. Let's see. But
maybe that's it, is like Star Wars is based on like Pulp Fiction, right?
Like, I don't know.
Not the movie Pulp Fiction, but like it's based on
the comics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like cheap entertainment, movies type stuff, yeah.
But I was very impressed with Mandalorian, so I'll keep going, see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, you watched the first season and the second season, right? The Mandalorian? Yeah.
I liked the first season great. The second season was okay.
Right.
And like, yeah, the season feels pretty good. When I was watching this today, I did come into one realization. I think Disney sees the Star Wars franchise as something they should be pumping money into and building because of the success it's having. And I think they're looking at the Marvel stuff and they'd be like, eh.
Meanwhile, there's like no Star Wars movies on the horizon.
Yeah, they probably don't need any. They don't need any right now. Why make them? Like,
I think they need to double down on the people behind Andor. And yeah.
And then okay, so if you think about growth, like you can make a movie that costs $100 million, that costs like $400 million, and then you might be able to recoup a few million here and there, or you make a series and then you can get people to sign up for Disney Plus and then forget to unsubscribe, and so you're getting all that money from people who are just on there anyway. So I think that Disney more than anyone is probably looking at the movie landscape and being like, movies might be time to go. Like what do you get when you go to movies right now? You know, like, and I think maybe they're more interested in these shows, which are doing very successfully.
Could be.
I would love to see their ideas about movies and the TV shows and how they approach them. Because like the decisions they made with the Marvel shows and the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies, and the decisions they're making with that, it doesn't look like a company that cares about movies that much right now. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Hey, episode 4 of this season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Guess who's it's going to be directed by?
Jon Favreau.
Carl Weathers.
No way.
Fun. Yeah. That'll be interesting.
I love Carl Weathers. He's so good. Is Katie Sackhoff directed anything?
She's not directing anything. Bryce Dallas Howard will be back to direct episode 6.
Yeah, she did other episodes before.
Yeah, she did some of the earlier episodes. I don't remember how many, but yeah.
I mean, that's a person who like has definitely had their whole life is about their dad helping them get through stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah.
That's a poster child for nepotism. How do you look in the mirror and
baby.
Be like, how do you look in the mirror and be like, I did this myself? Like, no, you didn't.
However, I remember her episode being one of the better ones. I don't know how many she's directed, but I remember one of the ones she directed was one of the better ones. So
no, the American population is okay with nepotism. They're okay with it. Nobody cares about nepotism, even though everybody knows it's not right. Everybody's fine with it. I don't really 100% know why. I think we all just we're all be like, hey, I want to have the chance to give my kids favors too. I mean, if you look at like estate taxes, right? Like, we all know it's not right to give a kid that has done nothing a house, you know, but like you would give a kid a house, their poor kid gets nothing. We all know it's wrong. So I'm not going to diss on Dallas Howard. You get your thing, but nepotism is a real thing. Anyways, side note. That was a rant.
That's been Nepotism Corner on Super Sideshow.
That was a rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 3. Why do I keep saying 3? It feels like the 3rd episode to me. Why is that?
Maybe because the first one felt like 2.
Episode 2 of Mandalorian, The Mines of Mandalore.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So on Wednesday, it comes out on Wednesday. We can record on Wednesday again, too, if you want to have it come out a little sooner.
Let's do it this Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Okay, deal.
See? Yeah.
All right. No news you can abuse. There's a lot of rumors, guys, and there's a lot of like things that people are saying, but we can't confirm any of this stuff.
Right.
Or look legit. So we're not going to.
Lots of swirl with the Daredevil series, like who's coming back, who isn't. Yeah.
On the next podcast, there's going to be a healthy chunk of news you can't abuse. I'm going to spend some time looking at some articles and stuff to see what's real and what's not. To give you guys a heads up, let you know. But that's it so far.
Awesome. I am looking forward to it.
Oh, and confirmed by your discussions on what do I call it? Mandatar. What's the social media we're on right now?
Mastodon.
Yeah, according to Mastodon conversations, we're going to look at the X-Men after Mandalore, right? Mandalorian.
That is right. Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. I can't wait for us to watch X-Men 3, one of the worst superhero movies ever made. Might be the worst.
Which one are you actually looking forward to watching?
I'm looking forward to X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men Days of Future Past. That's it. That's the only ones I'm looking forward to. Those 3. Okay. There's so many X-Men movies, guys. You don't even know.
That'll be good. It's like 8 or 9 different ones.
8 or 9 of them. Yeah, it's about 9. Yeah, it's a lot, but they're all fun.
That'll be a thing.